Wednesday. This is the Be Progressive Show. I am Brandon Neal. We are live here this evening. We have several things to discuss. Quite a bit of maggotry as always. So it looks like Donald Trump has vetoed the NDAA. Drams in the Republican Party. Looks like Alex Jones is bleeding money, laying off everybody. Looks like his little shtick is about to be up. That's good news. Karl Rove is in the news. Karl Rove, of all people, is calling Trump an absolute idiot and that everybody can see that he's lost the election and that there was no fraud. So if you don't have Karl Rove on your side and you're a right-winger, you're in trouble. All this and more. Stick around here. This is the Be Progressive Show. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday night, Christmas Eve. It is December the 23rd, and it is Wednesday, and we are going to be taking a look at some of the breaking news that we've had happen today in late afternoon, early evening. Looks like Donald Trump has vetoed the NDAA, which was kind of surprised. So let's go ahead and start with this one. So it says Trump vetoes the defense bill, setting up a showdown with Congress. It says 2/3 of the House and Senate must vote in favor of the bill to override the president. So President Donald Trump vetoed major defense policy legislation on Wednesday, sending the measure back to Congress for what could be the first successful override of his presidency if enough Republicans are willing to defy the commander-in-chief and rip their lips off of his ass for 5 seconds. In a statement rejecting the NDAA, Trump cited lawmakers' refusal to repeal online liability protections, also known as Section 230. He threatened he would veto this if they didn't, and they didn't, so here we are. The provision that is going to force the renaming of the military bases that honor Confederate leaders, among other gripes. I will not approve this bill, which would put the interest of the Washington establishment over those of the American people, Trump said. Unfortunately, the act fails to include critical national security measures, includes provisions that fail to respect our veterans and our military's history, and contradicts efforts by my administration to put America first in our national security and foreign policy actions, the president argued. It is a gift to China and Russia. China. It's always China. So we're going to see what happens now. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they will. They're going to have to go override him. What else are they going to do? You know, he's like forcing them to do it. I mean, can you imagine if they didn't? Like, then what's going to happen? No one in their right mind is going to allow Section 230 to be cut out. I mean, it would just fundamentally change the internet. Completely different. It would be a night and day world that we lived in online if that happened. Because nobody would want to host any user content, from a simple forum to YouTube videos, any content whatsoever, because if Section 230 is gone and somebody posts something that's offensive or breaks a law or does something that the law would be involved with, they can then sue the website or the app or whatever is hosting said content. And that's what he wants to get rid of. You know why? Because he feels that the social media companies have been fucking him over this entire time and that they've been censoring him and they're always all leftist and all that. So he's mad. So he's mad at Twitter, he's mad at Facebook and Instagram, and those are all the companies that would suffer the absolute worst. You know, but that's not going to happen, and the Republicans are not dumb enough to let that happen. So we'll see what happens, but this is going to be a pretty big fight. And speaking of Trump, his old buddy Karl Rove had a couple of different words to say about old Trump that I can't believe that he came out this strongly against Trump, because Karl Rove is a diehard conservative, and here he is. He did it.
George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. We'll get to Georgia in just a second, Karl. But first of all, I want to ask you about these meetings that the president has been having with a close group of allies about what to do regarding what happens on January 6th. We were talking to Senator Blackburn about this, that some members of the House may oppose the seating of electors from their states. And then there's other things that have been kicked around too, which the president denies, like bringing in the military to rerun elections in certain states.
Yep.
What do you make of all that?
Crazy shit.
Well, I'm going to accept the president's word on his last, but we do know that General Flynn suggested that. He did so publicly. And talk about an idiotic idea. There's no ability for any president to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1803, claiming that the issue has got to do with the hubbub around the election. I mean, no president would have the authority to do that. So General Flynn may have served honorably in the military, but he is sure as heck not a constitutional law scholar. And when it comes to giving good advice to the president about politics, he's at the bottom of the list, in my opinion.
And one of the people who's whispering in the president's ear is General Flynn's attorney, Sidney Powell, who suggests that after a meeting on Friday night, she's been banned from the White House. In a statement to Fox News saying, "I've been blocked by White House counsel and others from seeing or speaking to the president since I raised the public formal findings and even more evidence of foreign interference from Iran and China." I'm told that she still has the ability to call the president. She's not on any kind of do not admit list at the White House, but I do know that there are many people in senior positions at the White House who would prefer that Ms. Powell and others stay away from the president.
This Powell has peddled theories that have little basis in fact. The idea that Hugo Chavez from the grave was somehow involved in stealing this year's election, and that I mean, she was poured out in a courtroom recently where all of her expert witnesses, which, you know, one of them was so highly prized that he had to have a code name and couldn't be revealed that she sold him as a highly, you know, expert military intelligence analyst. Turned out to be a mid-level computer programmer from Dallas who couldn't even pass the entrance exams for the 305th Intelligence Brigade in intelligence school. He couldn't even pass the exams, and he was her high-level advocate. She had another expert who couldn't tell the difference between election precincts and townships in Minnesota and Michigan, and claimed that 151% turnout in Wayne County, Michigan, when any idiot with access to Google and the county election returns could have seen that the turnout was 51%, not 151. I mean, what she has done to sort of, throw mud on the president through her antics is unbelievable. The president has been so ill-served by this crowd, and she's chief among them.
Damn. Well, it's true. Everything he said there's true. You know, there was no cracking. Just a crack Karen. That's what I said the other night. It's true. Oh, let's see. I got a few other stories here. Let's see what we got. Oh, I want to do this one on. So it looks like Trump losing has really, and I'm kind of surprised by this story because I feel like Alex is like a professional grifter, and that it really didn't matter whether or not Trump would win or lose the election. Like, I didn't really think that was going to be impacting him too much, you know, because I knew, like everybody else knew, that when Trump lost the election, it would be voter fraud. I mean, hell, he's probably been saying it for 4 years that there was going to be voter fraud. It's just how he is. You know, that's his out. So I just thought Alex Jones would run with the voter fraud crap. They'd move on to the next fascie that they wanted to follow, and then that would be the end of that, and he would just keep up his grift. But apparently Trump losing has not been good for Alex Jones. It also, I mean, whether you agree with Alex Jones or not, but there is a conversation to be had about him being completely banned from YouTube and all the social media sites. And a lot of people, like, you know, that are free speech purists, kind of like Kyle Kalinske, and I feel like I am that way too for the most part, but I think right up until the point where Alex Jones crossed that line, you know, there's a line there for me. But I still don't know whether or not completely censoring him online is the right thing to do. But between the censor, that's why I was saying between the censoring of him and being removed from all social media, he even got, I think he was removed, his show was on like the Apple podcast list and all that stuff. It was all that's been removed. So all he has now is just his website and his own video service and stuff that he's running, and he's losing and bleeding money. So let's take a look at this. This was at a pro-Trump rally in D.C. earlier this month. Conspiracy theory magnate Alex Jones came face-to-face with the star of the pro-Trump far-right, former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Okay, just making sure that didn't read that title wrong. Anyway, Flynn hasn't shielded away from the Republican Party's fringes after the president gave him the November pardon, appearing on QAnon podcast and calling for Donald Trump to impose martial law, which he did on Newsmax. But palling around with Jones apparently was too much for former Lieutenant General. Crazy day, huh? Jones said as he approached Flynn backstage at the December 12th rally in an awkward exchange captured on video, which they don't have. It is crazy day, Flynn said, arching his eyebrows at Jones as Flynn's bodyguards prevented Jones' followers from getting too close. Flynn didn't turn in to face Jones, and Jones eventually had to reach out and shake Flynn's hand himself. Snubbed, Jones walked away mumbling about how that interaction was funny. More than a week later, Jones was still grumbling about the brush-off. General Flynn ran away from me, Jones said. That was a really kick in the teeth to old Alex being snubbed like that. So let's see here where they were talking about his businesses going here. So the Conspiracy Theory Hub, like the other right-wing media outlets, has been thrown into turmoil in the aftermath of the election, facing firings and budget cuts and accusations from former host that the site had gone too far, or had gone too soft, on the president. As Jones tries to find a footing in the post-Trump world, he's facing competition from better-produced rivals from the OAN and Newsmax, which have promoted conspiracy theories in their own. And the most viable sign of internal turmoil came December the 17th when Jones fired the longtime InfoWars host and conspiracy theorist David Knight, which every time I go to InfoWars a lot just because that shit's funny to me, man. I watch some of it. I'd like to report on it, so I watch it from time to time. And a lot of the times I go on there, it was this David Knight guy that was always on the show. He says, quote, "I was just fired by Alex effective immediately." Knight, the rare InfoWars host to not already be banned by Twitter, tweeted shortly after his ouster. Knight and InfoWars didn't respond to the request for comments. Jones often complains about budget issues and InfoWars, usually before going into a pitch for his fake boner pills and brain pills. InfoWars continues to face legal battles and goes on to say that they are bleeding money from multiple different directions. And so they are firing people, laying people off. And it is tough to be a conservative online when you spew this kind of nonsense. So you know what? Sorry, buddy. Don't feel sorry for you at all, really. You're just a big douche, and that's what you get. So moving on. Let's see what we got here. So, now Trump did two things today that were noteworthy. The one thing, usually that's golfing and like eating McDonald's for him, but today he actually did two things. He vetoed the NDAA, and he is now calling for there to be $2,000 in the CARES Act instead of $600 for every adult, making, I think it's $75,000 or less if you're single, or $150,000 per household, I think. If you make more than that, you will not receive anything. So let's see here. This says that President Trump's request that the Congress rewrite the massive coronavirus relief bill passed earlier this week to include direct payments of $2,000. And, the Democrats were like, hey, let's do it. There's no reason to not on this. Let's push for this. Let's go. I don't know where it's really funny. I don't know where his supporters stand on this. I know that let me see if I still have it. There was a really funny quote somebody sent after this. I think I retweeted it earlier this morning. Or maybe not. I thought I did. Oh well. So in the video message earlier on Tuesday, Trump ripped the $2.3 trillion bill, which was written includes stimulus checks of only $600 as a part of the $900 billion coronavirus relief bill. The bill also includes another $1.4 trillion to fund the government through the most of next year. So he is wanting that he is outlefting the Dems here. And at least the Dems are smart enough to immediately jump on board. I'm really kind of surprised that Pelosi didn't fight him over. That seems like something she would do. But let's see. Bernie says, that's great. I first introduced a bill to provide 2,000 direct payments. So he's on board. Elon Omar, Mitch, don't be the only reason people don't get 2,000. She's on board. Ayanna Presley's on board. Rashida Tlaib, the squad is on board. Of course they're on board. You know? Trump sucks, man, but this is what the people need. So if he's going to do something good, then I'm going to give him credit for it. Fuck yeah, do it, man. Good for you. So I was looking at Axios. There's a story here that's surviving COVID makes people take it more seriously. No shit. I've heard stories that they're all just, anecdotal stories that people are saying that nurses and doctors, my wife's a physician and she's kind of in a lot of physician Facebook groups and things like that. And there's a lot of stories going around that there are people that are diehard like Trump supporters or Republicans that think that this is all a hoax, that literally while they lay dying, they deny in their last conversations with their family that it's COVID. They still, I'm serious. That's true brainwashing. That's good quality brainwashing right there. And so there's a study that says that after you have it, you're taking it much more seriously. This is a vocal group of White House officials, state officials, and conservative pundits have argued for months that the virus simply is not that big of a deal for people who don't die or become seriously ill, but that's not how those patients themselves see it. By the numbers, 54% of the coronavirus survivors in our survey said contracting the virus made them take it more seriously, compared to 15% who now take it less seriously. 63% said that they are likely to take a vaccine once it's publicly available, and only 15% said that they would probably not. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just 15% higher than the general population. So anyway, yeah, duh. It happens to you. You take it more seriously because you almost die. Personal story. Where I went to high school or elementary school, there was a teacher there who was my 5th grade teacher, and he was a very conservative, right-wing kind of guy, but just unbelievably Christian. Just unbelievably Christian. And he's so Christian that kind of behavior when I was, I freaking went to elementary school in the early 80s, so that kind of behavior wouldn't fly today. They would say, you're going to have to dial it back on the religion. That's how crazy this guy is, right? He's from my hometown area. Like, he's always around and stuff. And he runs a church that's not far from where my father lives and stuff. So I always kind of keep up. And I'm always blown away by the conservatives that are like the big Trump supporters that are Christians, like that are really hardcore Christians that still support Trump. And he's one of those walking dichotomies, man. And his Facebook page, like, ever since Trump became president, has just been nothing but Trump's the best and Trump's the best and Trump's the best. It's disgusting. And I'd follow it all the time. Well, he started posting. There was a lot of anti-COVID stuff. It was, hoax kind of stuff. Flu is no different than the flu. The kind of casual Fox News, Newsmax kind of bullshit that you would expect, that's been going on. And he started posting that as well. And I found out tonight that unfortunately his wife got COVID and died. And I knew her, I knew him. And I mean, this is your ignorance and your just complete narrow-minded, dumb bullheadedness about politics and your religion it has consequences. It gets people killed, and I'm really sure that he played it down, and she probably did too, and it's sad. And now somebody that he was my 5th grade teacher, and like his church is really close to where I grew up, and so like I knew the guy and I knew his wife, and and so it's like it's frustrating when it's like somebody that if they'd just had any sense whatsoever, they'd still be alive, so. But anyway, I saw that story. I wanted to point that out. This is the other thing I was going to talk about. It's a fun little thing we'll talk about here. The Lincoln Project is going after full screen's unavailable. Who does that? Come on. Anyway, the Lincoln Project is doing their attack ads now on Mike Pence. So I have not seen this. I'm going to watch it.
The end is coming, Donald. Even Mike Pence knows. He's backing away from your train wreck, from your desperate lies and clown lawyers. When Mike Pence is running away from you, you know it's over. Trying to save his reputation, protect his future. Oh, there's one last thing, Donald. On January 6th, Mike Pence will put the nail in your political coffin when he presides over the Senate vote to prove Joe Biden won. It's over. And Mike Pence knows it.
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Oh, man. The guys at the Lincoln Project are just Republicans, man. They really are. And they really are for some really bad policies. And I really hated how, normie libs just loved all over them and just, sent them money. And they fleeced a lot of libs, man. They did. They got a lot of money. They knew how to cash in on the anti-Trump crowd. But, man, I'll say this, man, their ads are fucking brutal. And they did do a good job, and it really did actually get under Donald Trump's skin. I'm sure that pissed off Pence. That was good, And I just want people to know they're still Republicans. I know some of, I can't remember his name now, Steve something, I think he's a founder, had said that he may be an independent now or whatever. But, it really doesn't matter what they call themselves. We know what they're really, policy-wise what they're about. So that doesn't really matter much. But anyway, I wanted to watch that because that was fun. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I wanted to read this. This is the statement on the NDAA. Donald Trump said, "I am returning without my approval. H.R. 6395, the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year of 2021, the Act. My administration recognizes the importance of the Act to our national security. Unfortunately, the Act fails to include critical national security measures, includes provisions that fail to respect our veterans and our military's history, and contradicts efforts by my administration to put America first in our national security and foreign policy actions. It is a gift to China and Russia." Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see where the Republicans end up going with that. So, there was a story about the Secret Service that I think here it is. This story, it says that they have no plan if Trump decides that he's not going to leave. They haven't even, that's never been something that they've probably ever had to discuss or really even truly think about. Although you'd think that would be that'd be in the manual with the inch of dust in the closet somewhere. But I feel like that's something that they would have had discussed. So it says if there are any checklist or plans, procedures, or guidelines for the Secret Service to follow in the event of an auto gulp. I don't even know what that word is. I've never seen that word in my life. A crisis in which a sitting president refuses to transfer power. A half dozen former officials privy to the government's most sensitive contingency plans aren't aware of them. So none would speak for the record, owing to both the secrecy of the plans and to the sensitivity of the moment. They don't want to encourage President Trump to cross the line that authorities haven't conceived of. So it's on their mind now. You think maybe that you just never know with this guy. One day I think maybe he's going to do the right thing, and the next day I think maybe he's just going to cling to it and see what happens. It's pretty amazing, really. Let's see here. This is another story. Yeah, see, this was I was going to talk about Trump's pardons that came out. And yeah, those Blackwater guard, that's awful. That's Ali Kanani. He was 9 when he was shot in the head by the Blackwater guards in September the 16th, 2007, while riding in his father's car in Baghdad in Iraq. Donald Trump just pardoned his killers. So yeah, that's not good. He did not pardon anybody really that should have been, in my opinion, should have been pardoned. This was the other thing. Remember that video? I posted it. Let me go back. I'll show you. It's the whitest thing I've ever seen. This was the Republican Whitestone Club. I posted it down here. I know I did the other day, so bear with me. There it is. Oh, yeah. Well, they remembered to invite the black couple. Not a mask in sight. This just happened the other day, so I wonder how many of them are going to be dead. Look, I mean, these are like older people, too. This D-bag here in front. Yeah, these are older people, so I bet you at least 5 or 6 of those people died corona after this. I bet you. Watch. This is embarrassing. It gets worse too. It's like, this is almost as bad as like the Hillary Clinton Macarena thing. And if you guys haven't seen that, I'll pull it up afterwards because it's crazy. Look at this guy. I love this guy's hat. This guy's tearing it up, man. Jesus Christ, that's awesome. I joked during the primaries that I said that Mayo Pete had the rich white people in the conga line vote locked down, but I don't know. I think Trump may have gave a run for his money on that one. Yeah, that is just cringeworthy as hell. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, so that's the Whitestone Republican Club. The reason I showed you that was, let's see, there was where did it go? I had it pulled up just a second ago. There it is. So they got a lot of shit for that video because it was released and then the media got a hold of it and they were saying, you know, the obvious COVID stuff and the mask and all that kind of stuff. So this was their response. So apparently the media is freaking out because we dared to celebrate the holiday in a perfectly ordinary and unremarkable way with a gathering of friends and family. We are now getting calls from the New York Times, Gothamist, and Washington Post and other outlets asking for our comments on a holiday party. Let that sink in. Our idiot mayor and even King Cuomo himself have commented on it, which it is just absolutely hilarious for so many reasons. The fact that the two most powerful people in the state are talking about how our little party speaks volumes about their priorities, as well as how sensitive they are to even the slightest threat to the dictatorial authority that they crave. Yes, we held a holiday party. Good time was had by all. We abided by all precautions. Some of you will die because you're stupid. But we are not the mass police, nor are we social distancing police. Adults have the absolute right to make their own decisions, and clearly many chose to interact like normal humans and not paranoid zombies in hazmat suits. This is for some reason controversial to the people who believe that it's their job to tell us all what to do. We all have the inalienable right under the First Amendment to peacefully assemble, and that's what we did. There's no pandemic clause in the Constitution, no matter how badly the media and the Cuomo want you to believe that otherwise. We urge all New Yorkers, regardless of political affiliation, to go out, all enjoy the holidays in whatever way makes them happy and comfortable. Make your own calculated decisions and don't give in to fear or blindly obey the media and politicians, and respect the decisions of others. That is a fucking dangerous statement, you goddamn morons. That's all I have to say about that. You are fucking stupid. That's fine. Some of you will be dead soon now. And I wouldn't doubt whoever wrote this may end up with coronavirus and die. So that's what you wanted. You got corona and died to own the libs. Congratulations. So, well, I think that's it for tonight, guys. send me anything that you want to talk about. We'll try and do a little section live tomorrow night and see if I have enough submissions, if any stories that anybody wants to talk about. Just send those to me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. I have all my stuff listed. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Subscribe, like, comment. It means a lot to new creators like myself. Every subscription and like and comment is much appreciated. So thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow.